My name is Inder.
And I'm Mandeep. We are from Bolton, Ontario.
We always wanted to be parents. We always wanted to raise a family.
We actually had our first son in 2019 of August. His name is Sarvan. He is 2.5 years old. Our second son's name is Devraj. He was born 17 months after we had Sarvan.
Do you like baby? Yeah? You want to give Kaka kissy? Mitti ka do. Mwah.
I had gone in to see my OB for a regular checkup, and I was 36 weeks and 6 days along. I brought up the concern about being extremely tired, and she pretty much reassured me that everything was fine.
She did come back and she was just saying that she's tired and, she's not feeling well. She hasn't seen Dave kick as much as he usually does. And I told her, why don't you just call the hospital and, talk to them and go in, get it checked.
I was hooked up to a monitor and I would see the lines move up and down in past experiences, but there was no movement. Dave's heart rate did start dropping. They paged throughout the hospital to get an OB into the operating room as soon as possible.
When they took out the baby, he wasn't crying. About a couple of minutes in, he did start crying. And those were like joys to our ears. Then the doctor said, I'm a little concerned because he's a little slow coming around. The nurse came knocking on the door around 5:30, 6 in the morning. She was just like, hey, listen, let's go to the NICU. The doctor wants to talk to you. And that's where she was just like, I'm not figuring out what's really going on. I think we should transfer him to the children's hospital.
It was extremely difficult knowing that we are a family of 4. My husband and my son are at a different facility. My oldest son is with my mom. I'm alone in a hospital.
There was still no answers. They were just going off about we're still testing. They were saying he has high blood pressure. We're seeing a little bit of problem with one of his kidneys. It's not functioning. Day 6 is when one of the doctors came to me. She said, I want to have a meeting with you and it'd be good if your wife could be there too. The same doctor who booked the meeting, she told us,
the condition that your son has is incompatible with life.
And that broke us, right? And then she told us that it's called GACI. The full form is Generalized Arterial Classification of Infancy.
Dave was diagnosed with ENPP1 deficiency. We were told that we are both carriers of this gene. And I remember asking the doctor, how long does he have? And her response was, it could be a day, a month, a week, or maybe longer. But from what we're seeing, things don't look good.
While he was in the hospital, they did start him on sodium thiosulfate. Things started improving. He was taken off incubation, and from that day on, we could start holding him. Come around day 28, NICU staff said, okay, well, now we have to move him to a regular ward. We arranged for Sarvan to get there the next day.
You could just see the joy on his face.
Bringing him home, it was the most beautiful day for us, and the weather was so beautiful that day too.
We got to see Sarvan with Dave at home. They were both in their own element.
It was just us being a family, the most beautiful thing ever. He came home on Wednesday, and on Friday, Dee was taking care of Dave, and I woke up around 6 a.m. That morning. Dave just wanted me to hold him. And then around 9:15, I started hearing a murmur in his breathing. She was just called 911, and they were here within 5 minutes.
I was holding him, and I remember just handing him over to the paramedic. And that was the last time he was home.
About 10 minutes away from the children's hospital is when his heart stopped. They worked on him about for 4 minutes. They did get it going again. And when they were trying to incubate him again and all that, his heart stopped. After 8 minutes of cardiac arrest, his heart did start responding again. And got there next morning around 7 a.m. And I'm noticing his blood pressure is dropping. When it was below 50, the doctors actually came and asked if we want to hold him. And there's nothing they could do. Mandeep held him for his last moments. And just remember just being so helpless. All you could do is just watch him just leave.
When Dave had passed away, what people don't realize is that we didn't just lose our son, we lost all the milestones that come with being a parent. Even though time is passing, this void can never be filled, ever. We may go on to have more kids, but Dave will always be our second child. Gaki Global gave us like an insight that we weren't alone, that
Exactly.
There's a community that either has gone through what we're going through or currently are going through what we're going through. We decided that it is going to be our mission to give back, to honor Dave in his short life, to ensure that his story is heard.
Our goal is to advocate for him and make sure that everyone knows that his life mattered.